Okay, so here I am, Louis Moro with the one and only Lieutenant Colonel Russell Brownfield.
Hey.
Very, very proud to have these conversations with you, Russell. I know that some of the feedback I've gotten from people who have listened to some of them, they are providing the value that I know we intend. I tell people ask me, what do you do with this Veterans Act? And what I basically say is, well, if I was to narrow it down, and it evolves, but it really goes back to how to empower military people and veterans to acclimate to civilian life. Because it's just two different worlds. And then I always get that, well, you're not a veteran. I go, well, that's the point. I'm not a veteran. But Russell's 44-year veterans. Some of the other people around us are veterans. And that's how we bridge it. We have to have these conversations where people who do serve in the military, they come out into the civilian world, and it's crazy. Literally crazy is probably the word to say in many areas. And one of the things that we've distinguished throughout our calls, a big problem, and it is a problem, it's an educational problem, is that, no matter what branch of the military you are, no matter what you do in the military, no matter what level of performance from the Pentagon to the person, you name it, in any branch, ultimately they all have that one mission, is to protect and serve and defend the Charters of Freedom of the United States. If you don't know what the Charters of Freedom are, you got to look it up. Yeah. We say it, we have a conversation, well, you need to know what the Charters of Freedom are. And that's the first clue. Most people don't even understand or know what the Charters of Freedom are, what they represent. So then you go into the civilian world, and the mission in the civilian world is all over the place. Literally just all over the place. Capitalism has it scattered everywhere. The priorities, money, the priorities, investors, the priority is, how do I get mine? Forget about you. Not everybody, not all companies, but it's just all over the place. So where the mission in the civilian world, you would think, is also to protect and defend the Charters of Freedom of the United States, which gives the opportunity to have capitalism. So that's one of the things that we try to bridge and give veterans tools and distinctions, being trainable distinctions around parenting, possibly mortgage career, if that's it's a possibility for them. But so those are the conversations that we have. Today we're going to cover a little bit about the political world, only because, if you don't pay attention to politics, then you get what you get. And even if you pay attention to politics, you still might get what you get. Ultimately, you got to vote. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, a person can have $1 billion, but you got to vote and not sell out to the dollar. And a lot of people sell out for all kinds of